Ashley.
I'm Lisa. It is Thursday, March 27th,
Yes.
and this is our 14th episode podcast.
Yes.
So, how's your 2 weeks been?
It's been good. I have been pretty monogamous actually on this. I did have a couple finishes, but I was trying to get everything ready because we're leaving in about 2 hours to go to Disney.
Yay!
So,
How fun.
I have my haul from Floff though to show.
I do too. We had Floff. It was wonderful day. Busy. Have a couple things coming up that I'm going to talk about, but first we'll get into what I'm wearing. This is an oldie but goodie.
Cute.
It is. I'm going to stand up because it's crazy how it is. Like, it is super long, and then it kind of goes into a V. I bought this yarn probably 15, 20 years ago. I got it from, there used to be a store in Du Bois inside a Shop and Save grocery store owned by Mary Lee Fazell. And I was only a crocheter at that point. I didn't know how to knit. And she kept saying, you need to learn to knit. You need to learn to knit. But I was like, ah. So it's all little squares. And I did this while, my kids were younger. They were, still at home, all three of them. And I started it, put it down, Well, I even, if you look real close, like my blocks are different sizes. I must have changed my hook somewhere in the years that I made it. And then you have to sew them all together. And so I just made it work. I know there is a pattern out there somewhere. It was in a Noro magazine. I don't know. I looked briefly this morning, tried to find it. I don't know what it is. I could probably do a deep dive at home if someone desperately wants to make it, but it was made using Noro yarn. I honestly think this was probably my first big yarn purchase.
Yeah.
And I finished it in probably a year or so. It probably took me a year or so to do it.
Yeah, there's a lot of little blocks in there.
Yeah. Putting it up and down and, TV crocheting. But yeah, it's fun. It's a really interesting, and I have a little shawl pin holding it here, but I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's warm. It's
nice because now we're back.
It's kind of artsy, I think.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. It's not your normal
shawl
sweater, but it's fun. It's like wearing a blanket, honestly. Yeah. So that's what I'm wearing.
I have nothing wearing today.
You're in airport mode.
Yeah, I'm in airport. We had kindergarten registration. So it's been a busy day already.
Just get me there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, finished objects. I know we've talked about it. I think we talked about it last podcast about the dice roll.
I think, yeah.
I'm getting there. I'm keeping up. So since we've started the dice roll, I've finished 5 things.
Wow.
I know, right? I think even just making the list, honestly, before we started the dice roll, I finished 2 things because they were this close.
Yeah.
I needed to do one little thing to call it a finish. So, yeah, I finished 5 things.
That's awesome.
I think just having the list and being able to look at it, I just need to finish that. It just kind of brings things to your mind. So my finished objects. I talked about this last time, I believe. It is the Fioli cowl. It's done, it's seamed, it's like a bandana style, all over cowl. I did it in kind of a low contrast to, 2 hand dyes they're out of my stash, but I could put together 2 for you. It's like a lighter pink and then a mulberry. Followed the pattern. It was fun. It's slip stitches, which I really like. So that is finished. That's one finished object. Do you have any finishes?
Not with
me.
I did finish. I'll bring it next time. I finished a little yarn cozy just to try and use up some scraps. And I finished the socks. I don't remember if I had those finished last time.
I don't think so. I think you were still working.
I think it was still working, or I had at least one done. But I finished the Disney socks that I did this time last year. It took me a year.
Okay.
So it's fine.
So this is my second little finished object.
So cute.
So it's a little gnome, obviously. It's called Someone to Write Gnome About Mini. It's a paid-for pattern on Ravelry. I had most of the body pieces done. What I needed to do was get something to weight it, and that's what stopped me. I was probably sitting in front of the TV, making all the little pieces, and I was like, I don't want to get up and go So I ended up, I had to get rice.
Yeah.
Put some rice in the bottom, which I don't think you're supposed to do that. They say bugs could get it, but
Yeah.
so yeah, he's done. The reason I was making this, Tony, if you're watching, this is your yarn. And I plan on making a second one for Tony. This is her hand-dyed, I think it's called Wowza. And I have 2 skeins of it. It's gorgeous, but it's not something I would wear.
Yeah.
Like, these aren't colors that I wear. I would make socks out of it for sure. And I have a whole other skein at home. But I thought, oh, wouldn't that make a cute little Nomi? And then the pattern tells you what to do. I just kind of adapted it. They want you to use a whole bunch of different colors. I wasn't doing that. I was just using a variegated.
Yeah.
So there he is. He's going to go on the shelf back here because my grandkids desperately want him. They're not having him right now. Someday maybe, but not right now. And then my third finished object is the Harmony cowl. I'm calling it a finish. It needs blocked. So this was made out of 2 crazy Zobber balls. And you are knitting in the round. So like you cast on at one end, you're doing increases, there's a little detail here that makes it fold down to here, and then you decrease back up here. And then I will seam this once it's blocked. It's really rolling. So I feel like it needs a good blocking. I'll make sure I pin this all out, make sure, and then I will just seam this here. But then it will also be a bandana cowl. And it's gonna be super cozy. This yarn is soft, and it's gonna be nice and warm. And I think it could be worn either way. You could wear it, with the point to the front, or flip it and the point to the back. But yeah, it was a pattern. So when I finished Nomi last week, I cast this on. So in a week, and I put it in my spot for the gnome.
Okay.
So when I finished gnome, which took me probably 2 hours to finish him, like literally I was that close. And I was like, okay, do I go to another number or do I do something else? So I did something else. But I finished it in a week. But we went to Maryland over the weekend. We had to go pick up a piece for our pool. We're making it saltwater versus chemicals.
Okay.
And we had ordered it and it was at my uncle's house, so we had to go there and pick up that piece. So we drove to Maryland and back this weekend. So I had a lot of car knitting time.
Yeah.
So those are my 3 FOs.
Nice.
Yeah. So whips.
Whips. I have one. It is a test knit for Bree of the Little Wolf Knits. It is the Bay Day tank. So it's going to be like a little scoop neck. There's going to be some ribbing on the neck and the sleeves. I'm about 1.5 inches, 2 inches after my join. I am using Falling Leaf Fibers in the colorway Changing Tides. I believe I got this on Etsy, and I actually got enough to make a different shirt with it. But then I thought this is going to be a really cute tank top.
I really like that color.
So I really like the color. I have enough actually, because my sister actually made a comment that she liked the color. I'm not sure how I'm going to like this. Brie recommended to do some negative ease, which that makes me a little nervous. So once I try it on, I think our busts are probably about the same. So I think that'll be okay, but depending on how the shaping goes, we'll see how I like it. But if not, I'll just make myself a bigger size with it, because it literally, I did this, I think I started it Wednesday.
Okay.
So this is like a week's worth.
That's good.
But it's been fun. This is what the skein looks like.
Pretty.
And then it has, is in my new bag.
It's cute.
This is from Yakagani Yarns. I got this at Fluff as well, but it was very Disney-esque, so there is their little tag. But I thought that was cute, and it's a nice small bag that I can throw everything in for Disney.
So keeping up with the dice roll, this week I rolled socks. So, which I've been dying to make. There's a pattern called, and I can't find it, it's here somewhere. It's called the Color Palette Socks. The reason I really want to make it, I'm going to be making kits. I picked my color palette, and anyhow, it's a sections of color that kind of fade. So these are going to be all my colors. So this is like my main color, which is gonna be my cuff. And then I have 5 other colors in my little cute little Della Q bag that I love. So I have a pink, a yellow, 2 browns, kind of a dark and a light brown, and then a lavender.
Ooh,
And those are gonna be my sections. Here's the thing. I wanna make up kits for the shop to sell. No one is gonna buy 6 skeins of yarn to make a pair of socks.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is I am weighing my hanks. They're 100 grams roughly, but I'm gonna weigh them and then I will be making up kits
And
using,
make, like, little minis, basically.
right. But I wanna make sure you have ample yarn to make that pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry.
Yeah.
So, but it's been in my queue for a long, long time. And so that's what I'm gonna work on this week, is making the socks and really keeping track of how much I use so that I can make kits. So, as soon as I find my pattern, it's here somewhere. I said the minute I print another one, I will find it.
Okay.
So, other whips, that's all I'm working on.
Yeah, and I really wanted to do the number that I didn't do it. I started it for the first one, and I worked on my PA shawl. So I tried to get about 2 rows every day.
Was
on
that your
one.
number last week or no?
That was the first roll.
Okay, okay.
And then I started this, and then I've just kind of been stuck on this because it's been actually flying off the needles. So.
Yeah.
I have until I think it's like the 21st to finish it, so I'm gonna have plenty of time.
Good.
But I've just kind of been doing it now that I've got it in the round, especially. It's easy, take a long.
That's why I said it's airplane knitting now.
Yep.
As long as they don't take your needles, which I've never.
I would say I hope not, because I just.
Are those
actually-
interchangeables?
Yes.
Okay, so sometimes what I do, traveling tip, I take
Off.
them off and throw them in my purse.
So I was wondering, because I have.
And I put an extra project in my suitcase, just in case.
So I have my 2 little chow goose.
I would put those in your suitcase.
Okay. Maybe I will throw that in.
Put those in your suitcase. And even when you just when you go through TSA,
Yeah.
take those off and throw them in your purse. How do they know the difference if it's a pen or a pencil or
I know I've flown and I've never had issues. I may look. I don't know if I have any. I may even grab some today. Some like stitch stoppers, like the needlepoint ones. I know I have one, but I have them on the other project I'm bringing.
Yeah.
So just so it's not sharp, it doesn't look as scary too.
I think international, sometimes they're pickier.
Yeah, but I
obviously,
think,
you're flying across, to a different country, and that's where I've heard you should be fine
but
domestic.
I've never had issues with it, and I've brought quite a few whenever I went a few other places. So.
The one time we were coming home from North Dakota, I think it's either North Dakota or Idaho, they were real interested in my cake of yarn. Like it was unused. It was just a cake, but they thought like they could see. They thought I had something like inside the cake, and I was like,
was it Stellina or anything?
no, it was just a cake of sock yarn, and I was like, standing there, and they're like,
yeah,
and I'm like, it's just yarn. Like I said, pull some out, it's okay, and they
Yeah.
were like, no, we just thought we saw something in there, and I was like, it's just yarn, I promise, there's no drugs.
I got pulled when we went to Nashville, and I think it was because of my cowboy boots. And so I wear them, EMS. They wear them at the farm, so who knows what, or something was on them and they didn't like them, and I thought it was going to be my knitting, and no, it was my boots. So.
Well, we always laugh when we go for Steelers. A lot of our stuff has bling on it, like little jemmies or whatever, and we always get scanned when we. So I'm like, don't wear any blingy stuff when you're flying.
Yeah.
So you should be fine.
Yeah. We fly all the time. So.
Yeah. Okay. All your whips?
That's all my whips.
Okay, I'm going to talk about some dream knitting. And it kind of leads into other stuff. I don't know if I mentioned it, but there's going to be a Pennsylvania Sheep and Wool Festival, similar to Maryland or Rhinebeck. It's the first one. It is going to be the second weekend of October, and it will be at the Dayton County Fairgrounds, which is, if you're in PA, up towards like Indiana, Punxsutawney, Katanning, kind of that area. Not too far from me, like probably an hour from here, so I'm super excited. But a couple customers and I were talking about it. You know, there's a thing with like the Rhinebeck sweater. People make a Rhinebeck sweater, so we're gonna make the Dayton sweater. So we've already picked the pattern. I had input from, you know, a couple friends. The pattern we chose is going to be shandy. It's cabled. There's some cables on the back, but the arms are mostly stockinette. So if you're afraid of cables, come here. We will help you. You know, when you're alone at home, knit your sleeves. Like, you know, and we have till October. It's pretty size inclusive. It goes up to a 54.5-inch bust. They don't give you like, you know, small, large, extra large. They just go by measurements. It has about 3 to 4 inches of ease at the bust is what they recommend. And it is cropped. I will be making it longer. I think that's going to be an easy adaptation. From looking, I haven't delved through I haven't read the entire pattern. It looks to me like there's some repeats that if you want it longer, you just do another row of those repeats before you begin the ribbing. So I'll be making it a little longer. It is pretty cropped. You know, it goes to in the photo, it goes to like the top of her waistband. I would want mine at least, you know, at my waistband, if not a little lower. So that's what we are making. The yarns I'm recommending for this, it calls for DK. And we discussed, because it's the second week in October here in PA, it could be 100 degrees or we could have snow.
Yeah.
That's, you know, so we thought cardigan, layering, you know, even if it's 100 degrees, we can put it on long enough to get a picture. So, I am recommending either the Patagonia by Juniper Moon. It is a DK, they say a 3 light. The needle size matches up. This has 382 yards to a skein. So probably at minimum you would need 3. If you were making the very smallest size, you would need 3 of those. And then, or most of us are gonna make it out of Scout. This is from Kelborn Woolens. It is 100% wool, hand wash, dry, well, they're both hand wash, dry flat. This one has same needle size, 3 to 5. It's also a 3 light. This one has 274 yards. So I think at the minimum you'd need 4 to make the smallest size. I'm ordering in a bunch of colors in this. A lot of them are sold out. So I'm gonna get what I can. Some grays were sold out, which I was a little disappointed, but there's other, you know. And I might be able to get gray in this if your heart's stuck on, you know, if you really want gray, we'll figure it out. I have lots of this in stock. I have some of this in stock, but more is coming. So that's what we're all gonna do. And I have a feeling as soon as the yarn comes in, we will be casting on. If you want help with it, if you wanna like run it kind of like a knit along, come on Fridays. That's when I'll be working on mine. I figure if I work every Friday for, you know, a few hours,
Yeah.
I will have it done in plenty of time for October. So I'm super excited. Anything else? I have a couple more things coming up.
I was gonna say, I don't think I have anything. I just have my fluff.
Okay. Yeah, I have stuff that I got at Flock too. But next weekend I am going to a knitting retreat. Tony from Rags is running a knitting retreat. It will be at the Laurel Retreat Center. I'm going to do a little bit of vending. The one evening we can set up tables, but the rest of the time you just sit and knit.
Sounds like so much fun.
It is. I can't wait. I think there's about 40 folks going.
Wow.
Probably 4 or 5 of us are yarn dyers that we know. Like we see each other at shows. We visit. We cover each other's booths for bathroom breaks and go out to dinner at night. So it's a lovely group of people. So that is going to be next weekend. And then April 26th, I'll be vending at the Frederick Fiber Festival in Frederick, Maryland. I hear it's awesome. I've never been. This is going to be my first visit there, but I hear it's awesome, that it's an awesome show. So I signed up for the spring and the fall. So we'll see. I gotta find somewhere to stay, but I figured I'll talk to Tony when I see her next weekend and find somewhere to stay. And then the next thing coming up after that is May 17th is going to be the Central PA Fiber Festival. It's in Hughesville down by Williamsport, PA. It's a 2-day event. It's Saturday and Sunday at a fairgrounds. It must be Hughesville Fairgrounds, maybe, I think. So that's a 2-day. We take, my husband drops me off in the camper, which is fine. I'm fine to sit in the camper and knit,
Yeah.
you know. I usually have a friend that comes up and stays with me, so she has a car. So if we want to ram around at all, we can use her car. So I think that's about it for
Upcoming.
upcoming stuff. Lots of things coming.
Mm-hmm.
One more thing. Next Tuesday is my 10th
Yes.
anniversary.
We'll be back just in time.
Okay, so I'm going to, I almost forgot. Gonna be prizes, gonna be giveaways, we're gonna have snacks. Just come, bring your knitting, come and hang out for a couple hours or just come shop. I'm gonna be doing like, you're gonna pop balloons and there's either gonna be prizes or like a discount or something fun. So, yeah. So next Tuesday, 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I have some special visitors coming from Pittsburgh, I think,
Yes.
hopefully. I haven't talked to her, but last I heard they were gonna make the trip.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be fun. So I guess last thing is, what did we get at Fluff?
Yes.
It was a lovely day at
It
Fluff.
was. It was nice. It was the first time I'd ever been there. I thought it was very well set up.
Mhm.
It was like a nice crowd.
But
was
not
there-
too crowded.
Yeah, you could get into the booths.
Mhm.
A couple you had to wait, just kind of how they were set up, but most of them, you know, you weren't like standing in line or trying to like look over people.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
really nice.
And it was busy most of the day.
Mhm.
Like, sometimes you're busy like very first thing in the morning and then it just like, but no, it was busy all day. Well, they had classes.
Yeah.
So like when classes would come, let out, people would shop. And they do this crazy like silent auction. The baskets
was
were
insane.
beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful baskets. They do a really, really nice job. And I guess it's pretty
It was intense when I was in
little
there.
intense. Yeah, I guess.
Yes.
People are watching baskets and like it's a
Ooh.
silent auction, so you go put, your
Like,
something pop
yeah,
up.
yeah, no, someone's watching. It looks like they're from Oklahoma. So we're from Curvensville, Pennsylvania. So like central Pennsylvania.
Cool.
But yeah, we're talking about a fiber festival that was in State College. But yeah, there were baskets, and they did half of them at 1, I think, and half at 3. And you
Mhm.
went through and you wrote your name and your bid, and then people would like it was like almost remind me of like musical chairs. You just kept walking around the table, and then you would
And you'd
go
up your
right-
bid,
yeah.
like if someone outbid you.
Yeah,
And I mean, they were very reasonable bids.
Oh, they
like
were.
the starting bids were very, very reasonable. I don't know where they ended up because I'm vending.
yeah. I
Like
mean,
we
there
had gone in the morning and, they let us bid on them also, but I knew.
Yeah,
I was
by
the
that
first
point,
one and I wasn't going to get back to, up
Go
my
in,
bid,
yeah.
which I don't need yarn. Like, who are we kidding?
Yeah.
But I did want to try to support them and, at least put a first bid in. And I would have been happy to win, any of them. They were
Yeah,
gorgeous.
they were.
And we all donate. That usually when you're a vendor, there's some kind of giveaway during the day, and they, we all donate things. So it's very nice. All right, what do we get?
All right.
Well, the one's
So-
about the same. You inspired me.
Oh yes.
Uh-huh. I saw yours and I had to have it. So,
Is it? I was gonna say, is it fiber? So
and this was my second time shopping with her
yes.
this week, that weekend.
So this is Sweater Weather Fibers. I think it's Kaylee.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say. So this was her Riot. This is yours yet. They're both UV reactive.
They are.
So I am going to. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do, but I got this to go with this. Let's see if I can get it. It's kind of more
pretty.
of like a roll leg or kind of.
Uh-huh. There's some Tweety
There's
bits
like
in it.
Tweety, like neon bits. It is from, I threw the thing in here because
Yep.
I knew I wouldn't remember. Tamarack Farm Sheep and Wool. They're from Spring Mill, PA. So I got 4 ounces and 4 ounces, and I think I'm either going to do like a barber pulley kind of with this.
So what you'll do is spin that,
Mm-hmm.
spin this, and then ply them together.
So that
And it'll give you the barber pole
yes.
look.
So that was my thought for this, because I thought this neon, I think they'll go good together, and it'll just give me something fun and
Mm-hmm.
see what we make.
So I'm gonna kind of do the same thing, I think, except I'm either gonna find black fiber or I'll just ply it with a yarn. But we'll see. I'll spin it first, and I think I'm just going to spin it.
Like
As
spin
is.
the whole thing. You're not gonna break it apart.
Well, I think I'll split my braid.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll probably split it. It'll make it easier to draft.
And then you'll just do the whole end.
But I'm gonna do end to end.
Okay.
Because I kind of want to keep the rainbow
Yeah. So not like a
going.
fractal-y where
Right.
you do like it.
Right.
Again. Okay.
So I think I'll do an end to end spin up, and I may strip this down into like
Smaller just to make it more easy.
right.
And it's a non-super wash, so it's that really nice woolly.
Yes.
So.
So I think that's what I'm gonna do. And then I also got from Tamarack Farms. Well, okay, so I got this from Sweater Weather Friday night. I found this one. It is pinks and browns. There's some mustard yellows in there. This is also from Sweater Weather Fibers. It is 3 ounces of Corriedale, bamboo, and nylon. And it is lovely.
Her bats were beautiful.
Her bats are beautiful.
I follow her on Instagram, and she has some really nice things. I know I have some of her yarn in my PA shawl.
Yeah, she's lovely. So then I went to Tamarack, which was right next door to my booth, and
Mm-hmm.
so I got these 3, and they are 2 ounces each, and they're mixtures. This gold one at the front is merino wool 82%, 15% silk, 3% Angelina honeycomb bling. This one is natural black, 2 ounces, 92% merino wool, 8% silk. And then this one is kind of browns and a little mustard, is 80% Icelandic wool, 20% alpaca. So my thought is I want to spin to make a shift. Watching some other podcasts, Needles at the Ready.
Yeah.
Kevin is going to spin to make a shift, and I want to do that also. Now here's my question though. I really like the pinks in this.
Mm-hmm.
I have fiber other places in my house and here at the shop that I'm a little worried it gets too dark.
With all of them, yeah.
With all 3. That was my initial plan. Was this, spin this by itself. Spin those by themselves. Do a combination of those yarns to make a shift. But I may look for some lighter pinks. We'll see. I probably should just start spinning and then
Go
figure
from
out, but I wanted to show it, not that I've had time, to be honest, but I did want to show it on the podcast before I started spinning it.
Yeah, nice to kind of see what.
So everybody can see. And then I had one other purchase.
I have just.
And this is from my friends, Sam and Donna, the Yarnsmith. And they had a sale table. Duh. So this was $10. Like, it's so pretty. It's teals and browns and creams. And it will probably be socks someday. It's called Morning Hike. So, yeah, I couldn't pass it up. And they were across from me, so when you're sitting there vending, you're looking at all their lovelies.
Yeah, the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, I have one other thing. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying I have one other thing too. This,
Okay.
So I also got from the Yarnsmiths. This is their vitamin C. It's a DK weight. 75 merino, 25 nylon superwash. She said it was inspired by a boat in, I want to say somewhere up north east or like New England
Boston,
way
New
or
England,
something.
yeah.
So I got 4 of these skeins to make a tank top, and now of course I don't remember what it was. I should have had that pulled up. But I got 4 skeins of that. I was surprised that I was gonna need that much for a tank top.
I'm surprised too.
It's bright red. I know it's Because it was from Audrey Barogo. We had talked about her several podcasts ago. All of her things are still, all of her patterns are still free from what I can see.
Yeah, we did talk about her. Well, while you look,
Yeah.
I'm going to show my last little acquisition because Ashley's going to get to the airport.
Yes.
I got this little yarn box, and this is made by Goodwater and Co. So it's kind of like a cozy. It has like a grommet in the top. They used like yarn, fabric scraps. There's little sheepies. I just thought it was really cute. They put a Scrabble tile here on the front.
That's cute.
Yeah. Don't know what the U stands for, but and it has like a, I don't know, like a linen canvas, like a canvas inside. So you can put your little yarn ball in there, pull it through the grommet, and then it's not rolling all over the place. I just thought it was super cute.
So it's the Luzerne by Audrey Borrego. It's just kind of a cute little V-neck.
That is
tank.
cute.
So I thought this would make it very summery. So I have 4 skeins of this to use for that. And then
I'm done.
one more. Tony. I've been eyeing up her assigned pulling yarn for a little while now. So it's back and forth, but I think I'm gonna use this, and I'll probably pick up just like a black or a gray to go with it. To make, I don't know what, probably a shawl.
Look, there's assigned pulling patterns.
Yes. So
I've made a few of them.
I know she had one that kind of, and it was specific for the one yarn because it makes it look like flowers.
Yes, I have. I've done, and I have one done in her yarn.
Yes. So I just thought this was super fun with like a black or a white. I think it'll make it really pop. So
Very
it'll
nice.
probably be a shawl.
Just one other quick thing. So at the retreat next weekend, that some of us are going to vend. This is a sneak peek, people. If any of you are going to the retreat and see this, we were asked to dye like a unique colorway for the retreat. So we're each asked to do 20 skeins. So yesterday I was in the dye pots, and this is what I'm making. It's still wet. But there's like, a brighter pink, there's some greens, and then some lighter pinks. It kind of, I think I'm gonna name it like tulips.
Yeah.
Doesn't it remind you of like spring tulips, like pictures you see of like Holland with all those,
yeah.
yeah. So that's what I think. So that's gonna be it. They have to dry, and then, so I have 20 skeins of them hanging in the bag. I'm having trouble getting undyed yarn.
Oh.
It's back ordered. So I ordered, this is a different company than I normally dye. I like it though, I like the base. So I only got a few bags of each. I didn't buy cases, because you can buy it by the case, which is like, 100 skeins, which is what I normally do.
Yeah.
But I just got a few bags of each just to see if I like and I really like that base, so I think I'll get more of it.
Good.
So, we'll have fun
Alright,
at Disney.
Yes.
I'm jealous.
I'll be taking pictures.
Go get warm.
Yes, it's gonna be like 80s the
That's
whole time.
wonderful.
So,
Get warm.
Nice.
We had some snow here yesterday, so
Yeah, that was crap.
we woke up and we're like, what's
Yeah.
this? Done with you.
So.
It's my fault. I put my ice from the front porch and my shovel away the day before.
Oh yeah,
It'd been sitting out there, and I thought, you know what? It was a nice day the day before,
it was.
and I thought, okay, let's clean up out front and put winter away. My
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah, then it came.
Yeah.
So.
All right, well, have
Well,
fun. Be
yes,
safe.
happy
We will
making.
see you in 2
2
weeks.
weeks.
Thanks for watching.
Yes.
If you like us, like and subscribe. We're getting closer and closer to
Our 100.
and then we'll do a giveaway.
Yes. So.
So share with your friends.
All right. Happy making.
Happy making. Bye-bye.
Bye.